Welcome back to Casual Bias Rugby. Game 1, done and dusted. Did our review. If you haven't seen it, go to the previous videos. Check out what we said. We had Leinster on the channel as well, who's the representative of Ireland on this channel. South Africa up 1-0. Was I happy with the result? Yes. Was I happy with the performance to some degree? Obviously, we knew South Africa would be a bit rusty going into this game, but credit to Ireland for staying in the game as long as they did, showing fighting spirit throughout and staying in the game until the end. But this is the official preview of Game 2, a massive one in Durban. So just before we start the video, please do remember to like and subscribe to the channel. In this video, we'll look at the two squads that have been announced. And then obviously we'll look at some of the history between the two teams, maybe kind of see where each team can get their advantages, especially using the previous game. And then finally, we'll talk about some of the betting odds. And if you're a guy that likes putting your money where your mouth is, like I do, please do it responsibly. Go on to BETWAY, download the app. Use code CASUAL when you sign up, or if you just want to do it the easy way, you can go into the description, click literally the first link, and it'll take you straight to everything, and you can just look at some of the offers that's available. But without any further ado, we're going straight into it. South African lineup, unchanged. I made a prediction video in terms of what I think South Africa will go for, combined kind of with what I wanted to see. But Russia said, listen, screw that. We'll go with the same team, get the job done. The players that we tried and we trust them. Obviously, there's kind of like I said, I wanted to see some changes, but I'm not surprised with the unchanged lineup, just because it's a new system. We have to get our boys used to this new system. So starting off the front three: Oxenche, Bongi Mendham, Frans Malherbe. Happy they did the job. Obviously, Ireland stood pretty still at scrum time at the start and then got blitzed in the second half. But these three, they are so reliable when it comes to scrum time. They do their job. Obviously, we spoke about it on Safas Unscripted. Frans Malherbe needs to kind of just pick up his game a bit. I don't know if it's just us picking up on it. That I don't know if it's the age thing or whatever, but he needs to continue staying strong in the scrum and do the dirty work. Like, he's one of those players that kind of goes under the radar when it comes to the amount of tackles he makes. Just picking up that work rate, in my opinion. Obviously, you have the likes of a Vilkulo on his heels. You have got Thomas du Toit, who had an absolutely amazing season with Bath. But we know Frans Malherbe, in our opinion, he's been the best prop in the world for the longest time. Just got to pick it up again. But overall, so happy. So reliable, no issues. Same with the locks. Eben Etzebeth, Franco Mostert, no surprises. Eben Etzebeth really closing that gap to being the highest capped South African player ever, which is absolutely massive, well, for the Springboks. And then Franco Mostert, the guy that does the dirty work, too stupid to get tired, just one of those workhorses in the team. Massive game for him as well. Captain Rugby, Captain South Africa, Captain Siya Kolisi in that 6 jersey. Massive game he had in the first contest. I think he really shut up that CEO from France. Brilliant game, put Robbie Henshaw down. He was just a bulldozer, really. He's just a different animal when he gets into that Springbok jersey, and so it is actually for a lot of players. Eben Etzebeth and Andre Pollard were literally the two examples of that, but Eben has obviously had a good season with the Sharks as well. Pieter Steff do tackle, 7 position once again. I think there's been 4 South Africans that have made above 20 tackles in a game in the last decade or something that I read, and of the 4, he's done 3 of them, which is absolutely crazy. This guy just tackles. He loves a good old-fashioned tackle. Absolutely brilliant, vital to this team. And then finally, in that 8 jersey, Kwagga Smith, I recommended we go with Evan Roos. I understand that we go with Kwagga once again. And I saw some people in the comment section saying, listen, he didn't have as bad as a game. And fair enough, he didn't have the worst game. It's just like kind of the errors were errors that really stand out, like they just pop out. So he's got to fix that, but overall he had a good game. It's a massive game for him, this one, kind of to secure that 8 jersey for him. Obviously, I would have loved to have seen Roos, because we know Jasper Wiese is probably going to take that 8 jersey and have those two fight out for a replacement starting position, if I could say it like that. Anyway, backline, Faf de Klerk, Andre Pollard. I mentioned I wanted to see Kobus Reinach we're still going with Faf. Do I have an issue with it? Not really, but I really wanted to see Kobus Reinach, Andre Pollard once again taking that 10 jersey, reliable with the boot. That's the only issue that we had really with his game. And I kind of want to see that 2019 Pollard again, where he like takes the ball up in the line, shows his physicality, because he's a big boy for a 10. Instead of just being seen as this reliable kicker. Because if the kicks don't go well, then people obviously judge him. So Faf de Klerk, Andre Pollard, once again combination work. Centre pairing, Damien Dillon, Jesse Creel breaking the record now. Officially the most capped centre pairing combination, surpassing John de Villiers and Jacques Fourie, who were legendary. I think they were on like, what, 28 caps? And then Jesse and Damien matched it last weekend, and now they're overtaking it. Massive achievement to them. Well done. Probably the best centre pairing in the world at the moment. We mentioned it on Safas Unscripted. Who's the best outside centre in the world at the moment? And you can't look past Jesse at the moment. Just like the form that he's on is out of this world. But you also have to mention, like, there's a bit of a lack of competition out there. Obviously, Ringrose coming back now. He will have a massive game. We'll talk about Ireland in a second. Rico Ioane, Gael Fiku. Yeah, Jesse's just like a standout performer at the moment. Obviously, the back three, Kurtley Arendse, Cheslin Colby, Philly Leroux, massive games for each of them again. We didn't see too much of our wings in the game last weekend, and yet they were so deadly, both of them scoring with like single touches on the ball. Willie made 0 tackles, but yet he was so effective in the game with his distribution, the way that he reads the game, scintillating. Anyway, going into the replacement, Malcolm Marx, who looked golden when he came back on. That looked like pre-injury Malcolm Marx again. Hopefully he can carry that into this weekend. Gerard Steenekamp had an absolutely amazing game from the bench, and obviously Vincent Koch. They are there to scrum. They are there to make everything an absolute mess. That is what they do. They do it effectively. Big game for them. Salman Murat, RG Snyman. Well, yeah, as expected. As I said, I would have loved to have seen Kwagga Smith on the bench with Evan Roos starting instead of Salman Murat. But I mean, the guy didn't have a bad game when he came on. Marco van Staden obviously to end the front forwards on the back on the bench. 6-2 split. Grant Williams and Sasha Feinberg on the bench, and that rounds it up for the South African lineup. Let me know what you would have wanted to see. Are you happy with the unchanged team? But moving into the Irish team, a couple of changes, a couple of surprises, and is it enough to kind of get the upset? I do think this Irish team, they will be up for it. Some of them will want to fight for a position. We've got Andrew Porter, Ronan Keller and Tide Furlong. Ronan Keller, not a massive drop-off from Dan Sheehan. He is quality. He is big quality. So, no real surprises there. Joe McCarthy and James Ryan going into the lock position. I am surprised seeing James Ryan start instead of Byrne at the 5 position, because I really thought they might have gone with Ryan Beard in the 6 jersey and then add Byrne at 5. But I mean, James Ryan, class player. He's always been the partner of Tide Byrne, but now he's partnering Joe McCarthy, and then the Lucy's goes Tide Byrne, Caelan Doris, Josh van der Fleer. In my opinion, Caelan Doris, man of the match of last weekend. He was absolutely scintillating. He was so good. Literally a standout performer for both teams. He was just absolutely spectacular, if I could say it like that. Moving on to the backs, Conor Murray, Crowley, no issues there. We expected it, especially with the injury of Casey. I think Conor Murray was anyway very good when he came on. He just controlled the game very nicely, and that's what's going to be expected of him going into this one as well. Centre pairing, we thought, listen, Henshaw might be out or not out. Like, I think there was an injury doubt around him, and it was like, okay, he might go out, and Ringrose comes into 13. No one spoke about Bundiaki, but all of a sudden Bundiaki is out with a shoulder injury. Henshaw goes into 12, Ringrose in the 13, and I'm really looking forward to that battle between Ringrose and Jesse Creel. I think it is great. I think Ringrose will be up for it, coming back from injury. He had a great game when he came back from injury against the Bulls in the semi-final. I know it was in a losing cause, but still spoke to a couple of boys. Brevan said it. Leinster said it as well. He was just a standout performer, just with his work rate and everything. And then an unchanged back three: James Lowe, Calvin Nash, and Osborne at the fullback. No surprises there. Might have predicted to see a Jimmy O'Brien, as some of the Irish pundits have said. But Osborne didn't have a bad game, scored on his debut as well. He's a tall boy, he's a big boy, he's got that boot. So let me know what you think about the Irish one. The big thing for me was kind of just the James Ryan into lock position, because I thought Ryan Beard is an absolute brilliant player. I'm not sure about his age, don't hold me to it. And obviously, Caelan Doris takes the captaincy. Let me know what you think about that, because I think it was Brett that said it on Saffers Unscripted, that Caelan Doris is a brilliant player, but you keep him away from the captaincy. It's the same with Eben Etzebeth and Adi Savea. You just want them to kind of just play their game and not give them another responsibility. As Irish fans, let me know what you think about that one. Moving on to the replacements, Rob Ehring, Cian Healy and Finlay Beam. No surprises, just your normal standard replacements out there. Ryan Beard, Peter O'Mahony, and then, yeah, 5-3 split. What do you think about Peter O'Mahony not playing? Because I brought it up in the previous I was going to say episode, in the previous video, where it's like, he's captain, but should he even start the game? Like, I just thought that, because obviously I forgot that Jack Conan isn't there, and I would have played Jack Conan, but now that you've dropped Peter O'Mahony, wasn't it the better choice to have just like Ryan Beard came on? I don't know. I'm a bit obsessed with it. Going on to the backs, Blade, I have no idea who Blade is. Kieran Frawley and McCloskey. Wonder if we're going to see Frawley at fullback or at 10. I know there's a couple of people that want to see Frawley in that 10 jersey, but I'm guessing he's probably going to replace the inexperienced Osborne at fullback. Yeah, anyway, let me know what you think about the Irish lineup. Are you happy? Are you surprised? What is your expectation for this game? Just looking at the game, obviously South Africa came out victors in the previous one, but if we still look at the last 3 or 4 games, Ireland is still 3 times victors over us compared to just the 1 victory. South Africa will want to pull that game closer. This is a massive game. Like, obviously South Africa has won it, they can't lose the tour. But we just saw with the team that Rassie put out that we want to win this game. This means a lot for us in terms of that you don't want that caveat over you where it's like won the World Cup but Ireland came and beat you at your home place even though you got 1 victory. You don't want to send the Irish home on a victory. Like, I think the second game is kind of the most important one. Who takes away everything? Because both teams have seen each other now. They can make adjustments. They can prep for this game. So South Africa will have their work cut out for them. You saw the way that Ireland came out in the second half. They had us on the ropes for the longest time. And we saw that last 5 minutes, scoring 2 tries in that 5 minutes. Such a dangerous attacking team. I mean, we thought we defended well. Held the ball up for that try, obviously filled with controversies. You can say whether you think it's a try or not a try by Caelan Doris. We get the dropout and you score directly from the dropout. So after all that hard work in defense, just a brilliant little set play with the forwards, getting that hands moving, and then all of a sudden you're under the post again. So this Irish team is dangerous, and we'll have to sharpen up on that defence. I'm sure Rassie wasn't happy with conceding those late tries, because if you go into a game and there's 5 minutes left and you're up, I think it was 28, you should be home. You can't afford to concede 2 tries in the last 5 minutes. You gotta see it through. So obviously both teams will be up for it. Who's taking the moral victory in terms of getting that final win to go home? Sorry, I didn't have everything prepared. Just to look at some of like the betting odds, and if you looked at last weekend, I thought the odds were horrible. Okay, like South Africa's not that big of favourites. I wouldn't be surprised if there are more favourites today. More favourites for this weekend because of all the injuries in the Irish team. Yeah, South Africa 1.28 favourites, massive. If Ireland wins this game and you put a bit of moolah on them, 4.3 times your money back, which is absolutely crazy. I'd go with, I think there's some high-scoring games in this. I know it's winter and it's rainy and it's cold, everything out here in Cape Town, but it's not like that in Durban. We're going to have a dry game. We're going to have a fierce game. I think there's a lot of points in this one. I'm going above 48 points in this game, which shouldn't be too bad of odds. Yeah, two times your money back, which is massive. 48 points, 48.5 to be exact. Anyway, let me know what your predictions are for this game. I'm super excited. I'll have a couple of beers down the pipe as well. Let me know what you think about it. Thank you very much. See you next time.